Just a reminder, as a courtesy to your fellow media members and the other coaches and student athletes, please silence your cell phones. And just reminder to provide your name and media affiliation each time you ask a question. If you're joining us on Zoom, please use the raise your hand function for the questions. We'll address the questions in the room before heading over to the Zoom questions. And recording this press conference on cell phones or other cameras is prohibited. Joining us now from Green Bay, we have Natalie McNeil and Maddie Schreiber. First question.
Jay Alter with ESPN. Natalie and Maddie, you've had so much success throughout your college career, and it's rare that a coaching change would be so seamless. So with a first-year head coach, what was it about this team that adjusted so well?
Go ahead, Natalie, first.
Okay. Well, I think a big part of it is Coach Kayla is an alumni of this program, and she kind of knew what she was coming into and the way that a lot of us operate at Green Bay, and I think she was a big part of setting that. Like, we're really big on our community and our alumni in Green Bay and just what it means to play Green Bay basketball, and she had a full understanding of what that was. So it's been really cool to develop like a working relationship with her throughout the year, and I think it's really awesome that we get to do it at this stage as well.
Building off that, I would say that she was very willing to meet us halfway when coming in. She knew that we all came back after Coach Borseth left, and she was really willing to work with us and meet us halfway on a lot of things, and it proved to work out and be very successful for us.
Now, do we have another question?
Hi, Roxana Scott from USA Today. With a senior-led team, 7 of you guys coming back, and a 22-game win streak, how would you describe your confidence level coming into this game?
Maddie, if you want to go first.
Yeah, I'd say we're very confident within each other and playing with each other, and we all believe in each other, and having 7 seniors on a team is very rare, and I think that also is really huge. We're all able to coach each other and lead each other. And so we're very confident within each other, which is really helpful going into this game.
Yeah, I think, like you said, and like Maddie said, we are seven seniors, so a lot of us are just trying to extend our career as much as possible at this point. So I think there's part of that goes in it too. And then just coming in and being confident. We've been on this stage before, so being confident in not only ourselves but our teammates and our coaching staff.
Back here.
Dylan DeRusso from Green Bay Athletics. You guys talked about that you have been here before. How would you say last year's experience is going to help you going into this year?
Yeah, I think there's a little bit more of an expectation just kind of what happens on the outside beyond the game with just coming in, practicing, playing at a neutral site, and then also everything that goes on around it. So I think that we have our heads on straight a little bit more about that. So we have a little bit of an expectation, which is good. And then just knowing that we have played on this stage before and being confident in our ability that, we deserve to be here. We earned the right to play on this stage. So just being more confident in ourselves and each other.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. It's not new this year. Last year, I think we didn't have our heads on exactly straight. It was all kind of brand new. But this year, we are a little more experienced in what it's going to be like, and having that experience is really going to help us in pushing forward.
Over here.
Kayla, and I think one of the things that struck me when I was researching your team is that she actually makes more money than her male counterpart at your school. So I'm wondering, to you, what kind of message does that send about women's basketball? And also, how would you describe her as a coach and a leader?
Natalie, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I think it's a really cool thing. Obviously, she's a great coach, so she deserves to be where she is. Kayla's a great person. I think something that really stands out to me in the way she coaches is that she cares about all of us as players first, and as much as as people first, I should say, as much as she would love for us all to go out and do our best every night, she has an understanding of it's okay that like we are people and we have lives outside of basketball, and she can respect that. And I think it's really cool. She has a really big heart, and she cares a lot about not only us as players, but she cares about the program and what it means to play at Green Bay and what it means to be a part of Green Bay basketball. So I think that's really cool. And also she's very determined, and she's a very particular in what she wants, and that pushes us all to be a lot better.
Similar to what Natalie said, I think it speaks to the person that she is. She's very huge, and like Natalie said, person first, player second, and being a very personal person. And so, going off of that, I guess she's just really huge on putting us first and as people, and I think that speaks to who she is as a person.
If we don't have any other questions, I'll let Natalie and Maddie get going. Thank you for joining us today, and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yep.
He did.
You're not
Wasn't
the
very
first one.
coachable right
Yeah.
there. Yeah, I wondered that.
We're joined now by Green Bay head coach Kayla Karius. We'll have a couple of moments for her to give some opening remarks, and we'll turn it over to questions. Go ahead, Coach.
Thanks. We're really excited to be here. The 20th appearance in the NCAA tournament for our amazing storied program. I was a part of several of these as a player, so it has come full circle for me to be back here as a coach. And I'm just ridiculously proud of this group that I am so honored to coach every day. I think we've had such a great transition, which I think for a lot of teams and for a lot of players would be a really hard thing, knowing that your coach of a long, long time retired last season and not really knowing who is going to be coming in. But we've handled the transition really well. All credit to our players who have made it gone extra smooth and have really enjoyed the time together this season. After a really challenging non-conference schedule, we have put things together pretty well here during conference play and continue, I think, at this point to be playing our best basketball, which is what you want to be doing in March.
Questions? Do we have any? Okay.
Hi, Kayla. Noah Trister with Associated Press. I'm just curious. I mean, when you guys go through a conference tournament situation like you all have to when you've been undefeated all season, what is that type of pressure like? And I guess, is it any kind of relief to kind of go, be able to sort of be the hunter in this tournament as opposed to the hunted like you guys have been all season?
Yeah, that's a feeling that's really familiar amongst any player that's been in this program. And I think when you get to the point we did during conference play, it's you know that you have to win the conference tournament in order to have an opportunity here at the Big Dance, just the way that our non-conference played out. And so every game gets a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger. But we talk well before that moment about all season long. We really felt like as the repeat tournament champs that the target was going to be on our back. And again, I think that's nothing new that this program hasn't experienced here in the last 20 years. So it maybe is a little bit of a different feeling, but I think our players embrace it all the more. And I think that they, just continue to approach every game the same way. And we use the phrase pressure is a privilege quite often, that you would rather be in that position rather than trying to chase somebody else all the time. And I think that our players have really lived that day in and day out.
Hi, Kayla. Roxana Scott from USA Today. I was wondering, what has this season been like for you personally, coming back to a team that you were such a star player for, having led the team to three NCAA tournaments, I guess a Sweet 16 as well. What has this been like for you?
Well, it's hard to put into words, honestly. It's really a come full circle type of a moment. It's a position I remember sitting up here at this very stage as a player, and now I just can see it from the other side. I think ever since I was a junior when I was playing, this was my dream, was to be a college coach. I just loved the experience so much, and I owe everything to Green Bay. That place shaped me, continued to develop me as a basketball player, but I think more than that, this program, it mentors and teaches young women how to be well-rounded people. And we have the most amazing community and amazing fans behind us. We have a university and a chancellor who are 100% behind us and supportive of making women's basketball a priority, which is not always a common thing throughout the country. And I've seen that at different programs. This is the number one priority at that university. And they really take care of us and want us to shine. And I think that that's important. You see that now at this role, probably more so than you do as a player. And I had the opportunity after I was done playing to play professionally and then start my coaching career and go all over the place. And I think that was great too, because you come to appreciate what you really have at this program. And it's not the same everywhere, culture-wise and university-wise and support-wise. And I think that it's amazing to think that I'm sitting here right now. I think that at some point along the way, this became my dream job, and it just became a goal of mine. But I just put my head down and kept working, and it just everything aligned this year. And again, I can't thank enough Coach Borseth, who set this program up to the foundation that he's laid. He's done an amazing job. And he continues to help support me and to mentor me, even though he's retired. And he can't stay away from it, which is pretty amazing. And again, I think everything in this program is about the players, and it kind of always has been. Our culture is about our older players teaching our younger players and leading the way. And I think that they've continued to do that. That culture, what we call the Green Bay way, is really going strong.
Go ahead.
If I may, I'd like to follow up on that. I had read that you actually do make more than your male counterpart on the basketball side. And I'm just wondering, like, how did that feel to you when you learned that for the first time? And you also have talked about the support the university provides to the women's program. I guess, what is the message that you would like that to send more broadly?
Yeah, I think it goes back to our university, our chancellor, our athletic director, and our whole community really prioritizing our women's basketball program. And I don't really necessarily look at it like myself versus Coach Gottlieb. I have great respect for him and the up-and-coming coach that he is. So it is nothing in comparison to him. I think it's a lot more to be said about women's basketball and the rise of it, and in most recent years, how much popularity it's gained and how it's on a bigger stage, and it's more visible to our young girls who can actually watch and find a female role model now to watch and follow. And I think that that's an amazing thing. So I'm really happy to be a small part of that, and I think the thing that it says is that we love women's basketball in Green Bay.
Go ahead. Yeah. Is there anybody waiting? No, there's nobody in the Zoom right now.
I'm curious, like, your relationship with the players. You're a young coach. I'm sure many of them feel like they can relate to you. Mm-hmm. When they sat down and we asked them about you, they said you met them halfway. So could you describe what that's like?
Yeah. I think a lot of that had to do with what our team looked like last spring when I came in. And that group of course, seniors, 6 of them at the time, plus underclassmen, enjoyed the season that they had and have loved the experience that they've had at Green Bay. And even though Coach Borseth decided he was going to retire, that group got together and said, we want to stay here. We want to stay together. We want to go and have another great season. For a lot of them, it was going to be their 4th or 5th or sometimes a 6th year. And they wanted to make the most of that. So I think that says a lot about the culture that they have. So then I came in as the new head coach, and I think it's important that you set the stage right away with some of your initial conversations. And I again, as a player here, I understood the system, and I understood what worked here and what's been done before. I also went through a coaching change. As I was coming in to be a freshman, actually Coach Borseth, who recruited me, took the Michigan job, and Coach Matt Ballant came in and was now my new head coach. So it seemed like everything I was planning to go and do completely changed because there was a new leader. So I personally know how that feels, and it can be pretty uneasy. Now, I was coming in as a freshman, not going into my final year, which I think is even more uneasy because they want everything in their senior year. Every player does. They want to play a lot. They want to achieve a lot. And this year was going to be no different. So it was really important to me that when I sat down with them right away, I told them, I'm not coming in here to change everything. You are clearly really good at everything that you do now. What I can say is that I've been watching you, and I do think that there are tweaks that we can make and improvements that we can make in certain areas of the team that are going to help us going forward. Plus, I'm not Coach Borseth, so I have a different personality and a different leadership style probably, and there are going to be different changes, but we're going to have to work through those together. I think meeting them halfway really meant that I wasn't going to come in and dictate everything. I want them to have a voice. You can, if you watch us practice or even if you watch games, you can see them all coaching each other and talking to each other. It's quite often that I go to them and ask for their input on something because I think that as a player, I remember how that felt. It's really important that your coaches trust you enough to ask for your input. They're the ones who are out there guarding the ball screen. They're the ones who are out there running a set or running an offense. They have to feel really comfortable in what you're doing. And I believe by giving them a voice, you show them that you trust them and you give them more investment in what's about to happen. So meeting them halfway has been an ongoing process all season long. I think a lot early on, and it's maybe tapered off a little bit because we understand each other more, but ongoing conversations, not like I'm the boss, so I'm telling you what to do, but more so let's do this all together.
Go ahead.
They mentioned that last year they felt like maybe their heads weren't in the right place for the NCAA tournament. How much did that loss to Tennessee, I guess, come up in your preparation this time? And, how they learned from that, what they can expect coming in.
Yeah, well, I knew how they felt about it pretty early on when I took the job because we talked about it, and you could just tell right away. It just left a bitter taste in their mouth. They knew that they felt they were better than what they put out there on the big stage and wanted to show more, improve a little bit more than what the final score indicated. Now, we hadn't touched that subject probably until recently when this opportunity came along. But again, giving them a voice, we talk after practice, and I'm not always the one who's talking. Give them an opportunity to speak up. And it was several seniors who mentioned they've been here before. They know what this feels like, and yet they're aching for more. For us, getting to the tournament is not the end goal. Just like winning the conference tournament, that's not the end goal. It is not only to get here, it's to achieve and to win games here. And they want more than what they had last year. So I think you don't fully understand something totally until you've gone through it at least once, and it just feels a little bit different to them now. I see a different confidence about them. They're approaching this differently than they did last year because they've already experienced it, and now they want more.
If we don't have any other questions, I'll let Coach get going. Thanks for joining us today, and best of luck.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Some reminders that Hammond Communications will post a recording of this press conference in the NCAA Digital Media Hub at ncaa.veritone.com. Transcripts are provided by ASAP and will be posted shortly. Thank you for joining us.